Ladies and gentlemen, we've played 4 games of Dota here in the American Dota League between Team Dignitas and Team Liquid. It's all going to come down to this. Game number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. My name is Matt. With me tonight is NY John. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, and Maud, I know we have one thing in common, and we both love Game 5s. And
Right.
this is the second time we get a Game 5 already in the American Dota League playoffs. There's only been 3 series so far. That's a pretty good rate. 2 out of 3. I can do that math in my head. That's 66.66% repeating, of course.
You are absolutely right. I like how you threw the repeating in there. That's definitely necessary. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Game 5s. I'm sure everybody in chat is a big fan of Game 5s as well. I mean, you guys wouldn't be here for any other reason. So, Team Liquid, they're going to get their favorite Treant Protector right off the bat, but Team Dignitas, they go with the Gyrocopter this time around. And what's it going to take, John? What's it going to take to win this game? Do we see Liquid go with the Weaver once more?
I don't know. They got away from what they wanted. They already had the Treant Protector. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Weaver picker. You're probably spot on with that. Just because it's tough with the Treant Protectors in play to get it after the initial selections, because it does become a prominent 3-4 ban in that instance. They got away from that last game. Liquid did. They went for the Kunkka. They went for the more aggressive style and teamfight oriented, but they weren't able to execute past, I'd say, the 24-minute mark, 25-minute mark. And as a result, AUI was able to just take full control of that game. He didn't even die once. I'm not even sure he came close to dying at any point during that game, particularly close at least. But Liquid waiting on this decision, so they're actually going to kind of think it over a little bit. They want to make sure it's the right choice. If they're going to pick up that Weaver, or perhaps maybe Korok is just too tired of playing the hero today, and they're going to switch it up, get some variety in.
You know, I'm not really. I would not be surprised if Korok's like, look, I'm done. All right, give me something else. Anything
Mirana.
else is fine. Yeah, pot him. Let's go. Let's do that. Or, I think if you're not going to go for a Weaver here, Nake's is still available. I mean, why don't you pick that one up? I think that might be a good opportunity for Team Liquid here. I think that Living Armor with Nakes would be pretty effective from time to time. So we'll see what they want to do. I mean, they're taking a long time to think about it, as you can clearly see. I mean, their reserve time, they've already wasted about 50 seconds. I don't want to say wasted. They've already used about 50 seconds. Let's keep it positive here. But they're going to go for the Lone Druid, which Bulba has played in the past 2 times that they've played it this series. And that's something that's interesting, because Bulba's Lone Druid, the first game he did pretty okay with. The second game that he played the Lone Druid in was not really as up to snuff, I'd say. In fact, it wasn't like it was terrible, but it was, and I don't want to, I'm not Flaming Bolt or anything. Well, I mean, I guess I have full rights to, because...
Are you sure?
I mean, he's on Mad, and, well, I produced that, so I think I can. But I'm not Flaming Bulba, but I'm just saying, it was like, it was almost like he wasn't as noticeable as he was in that first game. You know, he was very effective with the Radiance Burn. He was effective getting the items that he needed, getting the farm that he needed. The second game, the last game, I should say, in Game 4, not so much. So we'll see if he can rebound, if he's coming back on that Lone Druid, or it could be somebody else from Liquid playing it. But are they going to ban the Weaver here from Team Dignitas is the question.
I don't know. They've kind of given it up every other game. I don't remember them banning it out ever, really. So it's a hero that, a lot of people are not too concerned with, because you can burst it down. Living Armor makes it a little bit more difficult, but Dignitas already have pretty good core between the Gyrocopter and Rubik, and they're just going to ban out the Lifestealer instead, and Vistas gets banned by Team Liquid. So we're looking at a pretty standard setup so far. We'll see where they diverge from this a little bit. This is another game with Treant Protector in play. We don't know what the middle matchup will be, but Slark could potentially rear his face, and I think that could definitely be an exciting change of pace for Liquid, as they've kind of had a little bit of... Well, they've had success in the middle lane, but they haven't really had that fast-paced middle laner like a Slark is.
Yeah. You're really pulling for that Slark, aren't you, man? You really
I
want
love
it.
to watch Korok Slark. It is really exciting and fun to watch, and if you guys haven't seen it, well, then you surely are missing out. But Nature's probably picked up by Dignitas. Good universe hero.
Yeah. I mean, this is... Dignitas' draft, correct me if I'm wrong, is, I'm pretty sure the same as it was in Game 2. I'm almost positive right now. They had the Gyrocopter, they had the Nature's Prophet. I want to say they had Fog down the Rubik as well. So they're going to go for the Enigma, however, changing things up a little bit, which is certainly interesting, because they're going to throw him in the jungle probably. And that's something that's surprising to me. I mean, not necessarily surprising, because they do like to run their jungle heroes. They like to run pushing strategies on top of that. With the Enigma, they'll be able to do that pretty easily. And with Gyrocopter getting the farm, he'll be able to do pretty well in the late game, I think, as well as the Nature's Prophet. We saw Universe play it very effectively with the items that he got in the Game 2, like we talked about just a moment ago. And Weaver's still available, so I don't know if Liquid want to do that, if they're just going to go for a different route here. Crystal Maiden, we saw in the last game for Fluff and stuff, did not work out as planned. It was pretty effective, but unfortunately, later on, as the game went later, you could see how squishy she was in team fights and how ineffective she was being. So we'll see if they want to change things up here, go for another hero that's not Weaver, and just try to, I don't know, play some different strategies right now. It's important to note Dignitas has had a rough set of series I guess today, and we'll see if they can pick up this win, and it'll move them on to the grand final. So this game is actually obviously it's very, very important. It's game 5 to move you on to the finals, so I'm pretty sure, I'm not saying like both teams are going to be playing at their utmost is what I'm trying to say here. Okay,
Yeah, I love this Enigma pick because if you look at Liquid, they have a Treant Protector and a Crystal Maiden. These are two heroes that you really don't like to throw in an aggressive tri-lane, so you're pretty safe in picking up this Enigma here. It's really smart play from Dignitas. Crystal Maiden, of course, in an aggressive lane, she's so slow, you don't want her up there, and Treant Protector as well, similar stuff. The only aggressive tri-lane we see from time to time with a Crystal Maiden is a safe one that involves an Undying, but there's no room for an Undying in this game, so that will not come out. Instead, a Tinker picked up by Team Liquid, and I'm having flashbacks to last summer again with Tinker Lone Druid combination here. Of course, Treant Protector snuck his way in somehow, but Tinker is still definitely an amazing hero. And if Dignitas want to push, good luck pushing into the March of Machines. That's an effective measure to counteract that. And then on top of that, if they're able to play off of Lone Druid will be getting his own pushing done. Treant Protector can living armor the towers to take some damage. So this is a pretty good react and respond team so far from Liquid. We'll have to see what they round it up with.
Ban OD. You need to ban OD here, I'm pretty sure. Am I correct in saying that? Would OD be a good matchup against Tinker?
Yeah, OD is a good matchup against any in-hero, but the OD... Yeah, I think OD would probably be a pretty good ban, but they're going to mount the clock. I'm not sure if I've ever seen Snaking play an OD.
He's played it once or twice, I think. Maybe. I don't... maybe I'm crazy.
It's not like it's particularly hard. I was just saying in general.
If you're having problems playing an OD, then I don't know. I'm not going to flame, but let's be honest here.
Yeah, it would be a nice matchup, I think. It's a good point, but there's a lot of good matchups against Tinker. I mean, you could throw a couple of those melee heroes, whether it's Kunkka doesn't do too poorly against Tinker. Tinker would get a CS, but even a Dragon Knight or Juggernaut could go middle against the Tinker, so it depends what they really want out of this hero. Do they want the early game damage? Do they want control and lane dominance? Or do they want someone that can get out of there and get involved around the map? We do see Puck is banned out, but Queen of Pain is still available. She's pretty good against Tinker as well. You can definitely get things going in that lane if you have rune control. So I think pretty wide open options for Dignitas. And shutting down Tinker is imperative, but you have Nature's Prophet to help you do that. So anytime you have an opportunity to kill him, it's a two-man gank instead of just one-on-one.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. And, they have a lot of choices here for this mid-matchup. You talked about it, but I just, for whatever reason, as soon as I saw that Tinker pick up, I'm just like, OD popped straight into my mind. I was just like, okay. But they're going to go for the Dragon Knight, which is a decent matchup, I guess. He's pretty tanky inherently, and he could probably survive pretty well up against a lot of the abilities from Tinker. So I do like that pickup coming out from Team Dignitas, and if it worked for them in the last game, go for it again. Why not? And this screams mid-game pushing pressure from Team Dignitas. And, with the exception of Owie farming on the Gyrocopter, that's what it's going to be. And you really don't need that much farm either to be effective in the mid-game, especially when the only really concern that you have is a Lone Druid as of right now. Obviously, like you said, it's going to be tough to push into March of the Machines, but if they can get some pickoffs, if they can limit him early on as well, if they can roam, if they can be effective, all right, well, I was right, sort of, I guess.
There he is.
Yeah.
And there's a horrible matchup. This is a nice pick from Liquid. It kind of puts them in a precarious situation with the Tinker being a carry, and so their damage is lacking in some regards once BKBs come up, but it's a very aggressive lineup, and OD's going to dominate his lane, so that's essentially why they picked him, because Dragon Knight can't match up against him. Tinker can get us farmed safely and securely now, and I think they might throw a support with this Lone Druid on the top lane. Maybe the Crystal Maiden up there to try and keep TC safe. But definitely a very interesting choice from Liquid here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have to see how this does go. how they're going to light it up. We're going to show you in a second, as we will jump into the game in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 5 between Team Dignitas and Team Liquid. Team Dignitas desperately looking for a win today. They're looking for something to grasp a hold of. And Team Liquid, they've been playing so strong, but last game it got away from them there a little bit. We'll see if they can come back with a win here in game number 5. We'll have to see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in the American Dota League. My name is Maud. With me tonight is NY John, and we're going to get right into it with Dignitas smoking up early on. So, Dignitas snaking on the Dragon Knight, AUI 2000 on the Gyro, Fog will be on the Rubik, Way Too Sexy on the Enigma, and Universe on the Nature's Prophet. Are they going to go to the Roche Pit? Meanwhile, we're on the side of Lick, we're going to see TC on the Lone Druid, Korok on the Outworld Devourer, IX Mike 88 on the Tree of Protector, Fluff on the Crystal Maiden, and to round it all out, Bulba will be on the Tinker. I apologize, Mike, for not letting you introduce them, but I'm scared something's going to happen here.
And it is. They're actually in the Roche Pit. And one of my friends brought up a good point. He wants to know why Dignitas always gets surprised by level 1 Roches. And this time they're trying to do surprising, but the scout is here.
Oh no, the bear! The bear! They know this is happening. I think they have to back off now. I don't think you can take a fight. Yeah, Korok's going to come in. He's going to get telekinesis right now. He's in some trouble. There's the Rocket Barrage going. Snaking, taking a lot of damage. However, Korok in some trouble. First Blood's going to go for Fluff. Owie 2000 now, trying to get out of there. Oh, this is going so poorly. They take 2 down automatically. The level 1 Roche, they knew it was happening. They absolutely knew. They headed straight for that Roche Pit with TC's bear. And it ends up disasterly, from the side of Dignitas. That's not a word. But anyways, oh my god, just so unfortunate. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, the other day after that Smeagol game when they level 1 roached because they TP'd it, my friend asked, he's a big Dignitas fan, of course, and he asked, why do they always get caught by level 1 roaches? And apparently it's because they can't do level 1 roach themselves, so they just let it go. That would have been a little bit better off this game because they do suffer 2 deaths early on here. It's not the end of the world, though. I mean, they don't lose too much golden, actually. They give up a fair amount, but they should be able to rebound from this. It's not the best way to start a game.
No, definitely not. I mean, that's going to give you a slight experience advantage. I mean, ever so slight. The gold as well, I think, is the biggest deal in the world. I mean, Fluff grabbing, I think, one of those kills. IX might getting the other ones. That's immediately making your supports a little bit better already. Meanwhile, down in that bottom lane, Fluff getting telekinesis. He's already maybe feeding the blood early on, but Fog, no, he's going to pick up the kill on Fog somehow with that haste rune. He's able to get right around him, and Owie 2000 desperately trying to get that kill on Fluff, not able to do so because that haste rune allows him to survive, and of course the salve coming out as well now. So with a 3-0 lead, Dignitas not with the best start here.
Yeah, and since it started off so early, it didn't have a real opportunity to talk about the way they decided to lane this. This is very interesting, the way they put these lanes forward. Tinker is up the top against the Universe with the IX Mike in the jungle on the Tree and Protector. He's actually standing nearby. But Enigma over here probably has an opportunity to get involved in this lane earlier on because it is a dual lane. And we'll see if Universe tries to take advantage of that. Or, excuse me, who's on Enigma? Way Too Sexy tries to take advantage of that because it's going to be important that they find a victory in one of these lanes, and it's looking so rough early on here because this middle lane is just not where it's going to happen. This is so lopsided. In comes the Smoke Roam. He's in trouble.
Yeah, Snaking, he's going to get Crystal Nova there. The Frostbite as well. Snaking's going to go down. Fluff on a killing spree at 1 minute and 41 seconds into the game already. So Fluff, outstanding roaming play coming out from Team Liquid. They've got 4 kills to nothing for Dignitas, and if they can keep really putting on the pressure here, they'll be in a good position. And I got to say, they have certainly rebounded. They've thrown TC on the Lone Druid, by the way. So they finally threw Bulba on his favorite Tinker, which he hasn't played in quite some time, I think. IX Mike on his Tree and Protector. So everybody playing their go-to heroes, I should say. And yeah, Fluff was up to 500 GPM for a moment. So pretty surprising stuff, and they're going to look for maybe an early roam again here. They have there is some dire vision. This ward here will spot anybody out from roaming, so they'll have to use a smoke again if they want to do so. Meanwhile, you could see Fog looks like he wants to head up to the top lane right now and make sure he can secure some farm or something like that, or mid. I'm not sure where he's going at this point. He might just want to ward down in the bottom lane. They're going to try to give AUI 2000 some more room to farm here. TC's getting, of course, just the farm as well on top of that. If you look at the last hits, 14 going for, now 15 for the Enigma. Of course, he is in the jungle, so that's a little skewed. 13 for Bulba up in that top lane, and now they're going and doing some damage on Universe here. IX Mike with that leech seed. That's very effective early on, as you can see. And Korok pretty much dominating this mid lane right now. Snaking only has 3 last hits. 14 for Korok and 7 denies as well. So already this game kind of getting out of hand here.
Yeah, I actually believe they need to sack this bottom lane. They need to get Jark up to the top lane, get him a safe farm. split the jungle between Nature's Prophet and Enigma, but they're going to stick to this bottom lane. It's not going to be long before Fluff tries to take advantage of this again and roams towards the lane, and it looks like here we go. The rotation's happening now. TP up top. They need to just sack this lane. Even if they lose a tower, they lose 2 towers. They're behind. They need to salvage at this point. So salvage mode on for Dignitas. Bulba, meanwhile, he's going to have a much more difficult time up top with the gyrocopter in lane because of the extra pressure he'll take from the flat cannon. So that's going to give him at least one favorable lane matchup, and that's exactly what they need. They need baby steps to start it off. Bulba's getting chased now.
Homing Missile is going to fly first. They're trying to get that telekinesis. There's the Sprout going. The Living Armor is going to save his life for a moment, but Bulba should die here. In fact, will do so. Enigma going to come in and just steal that last hit right from underneath their noses. A little bit of a chaos. Not too much, though. Doesn't really matter necessarily. I mean, he's going to be the one building towards that mech anyway, so why not? So they'll pick up a kill, and it's a kill that they really desperately needed. You mentioned the rotations top. It has occurred. Aui's up here now, and he's getting okay last hits as he's sitting at 14, but 23 going for the OD in the mid lane right now, and 27 for the Enigma, but once again, that is jungle farm, so it's a little bit different. Mid lane, it looks like Snaking actually had to go back to base. He's having a tough time right now. He's sitting only on 3 last hits. He's sitting at level 4 as well. Looking at the levels right now, OD's at level 6, so he's already out-leveling him by 2 levels. So Korok in this mid lane is just absolutely going to town on Snaking here.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing Snaking can do about it. This is like one of those matchups where you can't even blame Snaking for falling behind. This is a lopsided because Dragon Knight's entirely reliant on his Breathe Fire to get his last hits, and when his mana pool is reduced to double digits, it's just not possible to keep pace. So Korok is going to dominate this lane, and all Snaking can do is try and find his levels. If he gets level 6, then he's probably done a decent job, and then they need to start looking more so team fight centric, trying to bring in some smokes. Here it is. Way2's going to smoke him, but he's going to get intercepted by Fluff, and there's the sentry down as well. Very dangerous for him right now.
Yeah, he's in a position where this is a little aggressive. You can see he's roaming back behind here IX Mike right now. IX Mike is going to spot him out immediately. He doesn't have overgrowth, or they're just going to walk right next to each other. Looking for Bulba, looking for the Malphite. There it goes, but Way2 now, that's kind of just I guess formalities at this point. Bulba's going to survive just fine. Get hit up by the homing missile. He doesn't really care, as you can tell. And they're going to roam back in there. Now they're looking to roam mid again. Maybe go on Snaking, who's kind of out of position. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana here, but they're not able to catch him. Korok not taking that path up there. So no harm, no foul for the moment. And Liquid will survive. Meanwhile, AUI 2000 taking some damage in the top lane right now, either from the tower or from Bulba. And the laser, of course, going out, doing some decent damage there. So as it stands right now, the net worth, of course, Team Liquid is leading the way by, of course, their 2 heroes, the Lone Druid and, of course, Korok on the OD right now. But still, Gyrocopter's starting to get some decent farm here. If we look at the last hits, he's sitting at 24, so he's not too far behind. But at the same time, those early kills certainly are not helping Dignitas.
No, it's not going to help them, but they are stabilizing a little bit here. You can see Enigma, since he was in the jungle the entire time, is still doing a decent job. He's still getting some farm, and now with Gyrocopter going to the top lane, he's getting some farm. Universe is going to be behind on the Nature's Prophet, but that's okay, and Snaking is going to be behind, but they need to not concern themselves with that. They need to get this jungle farm and the top lane farm and work from there. But that being said, it looks like Liquid are going to try and bring some more pressure to the top lane. They rotate in Fluff and IX Mike, so it's become a tri-lane situation here. They have to be a little bit careful, though. If Enigma comes in here with a black hole, which he can do so shortly, this could turn really poor for them in a moment's notice. Korok in the middle lane, though, it does actually force Dragon Knight out of the lane. So it looked like Way2 wanted to roam in, maybe even use a black hole there. But instead he's just waiting for creeps to respawn because of the fact that Snaking had to leave the lane. The top lane is going to be where Dignitas need to find their victories, though, from now on. And TC is farming very well in the bottom lane. You can see he has 40 CS. So he's going to be a concern, but really there's nothing they can do about it at this stage because of the way the game got started. But they're very much so in it. They're alive. They just need to find some kills, some success, and maybe eventually a tower or 2 on the top.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're actually going to get chased up here. OD is here looking for Fog. Korok is going to use that to Astral Imprisonment. Oh, he gets juked out, though, by the, of course, Fog of War there. So Fog able to escape through the fog. Ha, ha, ha. Now 2000 in that top lane. Yeah, I know it's good. Throwing down a homing missile as well. And now TP's coming in from the rest of Dignitas. Maybe want to fight this or something along those lines. I mean, Dragon Knight is here. There comes the smoke gang. They want to maybe get a black hole going. And this is a position where, like you talked about, if Liquid get caught in a black hole, they're in a bad position. I think they realize they might be in some trouble. Korok's going to TP back to mid. Boba and IX Mike are going to head out of here as well. And that should be the end of the aggression, but they're actually maybe walking into Fog. No, yeah, Fog revealed. Of course, they reveal everybody else on top of that. But it looks like Fluff, in fact, will go down. As the call down, the telekinesis, Fluff's in some trouble. He'll go down. That Frostbite not going to save your life, my friend. So Fluff will fall. Gyrocopter grabbing the kill, which is a nice kill. That's going to get him his phase boots as well. But TC taking the bottom tower pretty much free. And he's got his Hand of Midas done on top of that.
Yeah. So it's a really amazing start for him, and he can continue to apply pressure. It's going to be so hard for Universe to contest anything right now. He doesn't even have the recipe for the Midas. He doesn't have the... He could buy the Gloves of Haste if he wanted to, but he's definitely going to be far behind, probably looking at 12 minutes or so. And just the threat of an Entangle could actually get him killed. But the top lane tower is taking a lot of damage here. It's taken down to half health already. It doesn't look like they're going to bring in any outside resources to try and contest. Instead, they're going to maybe apply some pressure to this middle tier one. So this is the right move from Dignitas, and Liquid are probably smart to not contest that push either, because if they get caught out by that black hole, they're bringing them further back into the game and giving away their lead early. So it's not worth that risk. So instead, they're going to play it slow, let them have one tower. That's not going to make that big of a difference in the grand scheme of things, because this Lone Druid is farming so well, and their response is going to come middle when Dragon Form is on cooldown.
Yeah, which you just did go there. You saw Sneaking, of course, just get out of that Dragon Form essentially just about a second ago. Want to point out, while we've got a moment here, Tinker, very close to his Boots of Travels, about 100 gold away there. Korok did pick up that mech as well, so now that they're going to have that, they're going to have the push going as well. TC is coming through. That bear does have Demolished, by the way. It's doing some damage to that tower. You can see TC's just tanking the creeps up now. The Living Armor going on the bear. And this is what's so difficult about this lineup from the side of Team Liquid, is they've got, of course, that bear with the Living Armor. You're able to push so effectively. When Bulba gets his Boots of Travel, which he actually has enough money for right now, it's a position that's really going to be scary, because he's going to be around the map pushing things in with, of course, his March of the Machines, and TC's going to be getting some decent farm on top of that. He's sitting on 1,300 gold. You talked about Universe and him getting farm. He is sitting at 1,600 gold right now. He'll probably, I think, not opt for that Midas. He certainly can if he wants to. Liquid looking for a Smoke Ink right now. Going to find way too sexy. The Astral Imprisonment might go if necessary. There's the Frostbite. Malphite's going to hit Korok. There's the call down going as well. Way too sexy. Still not dead. There he goes. Treant Protector grabbing that kill. Now UI 2000 throwing out the home missile right now. And he's maybe going to back off here. They might go ahead and go for a dive. He's sitting behind these trees. Korok has the Living Armor. He's got also the Sanity's Eclipse. He doesn't have any intelligence stolen, by the way, from the Astral Imprisonment. But Aoi getting chased here. He's got no way to get out. TP rotations are going to come in. That is the Frostbite going as well. The Arcane Orb doing a nice bit of damage. Here comes Snaking. The Dragon Tail as well. Looking to fight. Living Armor going again now. Of course, that is only level 3 Living Armor. Telekinesis is coming back. The Homing Missile. The mech as well on top of that. Crystal Nova is going to go. Do they want to fight this Fluff? He doesn't have Freezing Field, by the way. He's not even level 6, so obviously he doesn't have that. Universe is making his way foot style up here to the top lane. He did go for that Hand of the Midas recipe. Fog now taking some damage. The laser as well. Snaking looking to turn around. There's the Astral Imprisonment. Fluff, he can't hang here for too long. Korok can throw down his Sanity's Eclipse if he wants. Now he's taking some more damage. Here comes the March, though, doing a decent amount of AoE damage. There's a big black hole from Way Too Sexy, doing a lot of damage. The call down as well. 1, 2, 3, double kill for AoE 2000, and just like that, it turns around. TC now on the way out. His bear is dead. Will they continue to chase is the question. Bulba will TP out of there. TC might get cut off at the pass. You can see Universe wants to TP in at some point, and it looks like he's going to do it, but only a little far behind. You can see him. They're looking for him in the trees over here, not going to find it. Universe going to finish off his Hand of Midas, and that was an excellent turning fight for Dignitas there. That was the exact black hole that they needed from Way 2.
Yeah, and that's what the black hole does. It keeps you in games, honestly, and that was tremendous from Way Too Sexy. So patient, got in there and made sure they got all 3 of those kills, and the kill on Korok being the biggest of the 3. Just tremendous play, and Liquid probably overstayed their welcome a little bit in the jungle. They had opportunities to disengage all along the way, but definitely pressed their luck to the point where Way Too Sexy was able to just take full advantage, and now Universe has his Midas up inside of 12 minutes. Way Too Sexy has his mech up. Looking across the board, this is given an opportunity for Dignitas to complete some of the more important items. Rubik is down bottom, finding his level 6, and it's going to be amazing if he picks up level 6 before even the Treant Protector does, considering the start that Liquid had. So this really has just brought the game back to pretty even state, despite the fact that there's a slight gold lead in advantage for Liquid. The team fight for Dignitas is just so strong. Liquid can't risk falling victim to it again.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And positioning is going to have to be crucial. And, you know, Way 2, really excellent job there. And you're right. I mean, it is pretty surprising. The fact that Fogg's level 6 and neither Fluff nor IX Mike are, especially with how, they decided to dual lane things, and of course the roaming that came out and Fog just having a tough time. But, that early start of the game is kind of behind them. They are still behind in terms of gold by 4,000. So Dignitas still has a little bit of a hill to climb here, but they've got a really good team to, kind of take this to the later stages of the game with that black hole first and foremost, with, of course, Aoi 2000 on the gyrocopter, Snake King with the Elder Dragon form, who, in all honesty, Snake King right now sitting at 2,000 net worth, that's probably where he should be considering what lane he was in up against Korok. That's a very tough mid lane. I mean, you just got his treads done, but it's difficult,
Yeah, I said before, it's just one of those lanes where you can't blame the player because it's so lopsided that you feel bad. But he weathered the storm. He's out of it now. He's level 8, so it's not like he's in that bad of a position. He only dropped twice. You could see in that team fight, he got involved in a pretty meaningful way. I mean, having the dragon form active, being able to get off one dragon tail stun, it's really important for his team, even the small things. And that's exactly what he was able to accomplish. We see also TC farming well. He's now hitting that 3,000 gold mark, it looks like. So he's probably going to go for the Radiance. That's what most of the Lone Druid players have done ever since that change to the Armlet, now working on the Bear. And it looks like he'll actually do that as well and probably have that up in a couple of minutes. But mid lane, Korok is camping on top of Snake King.
Yeah.
And it might get a little bit murky here.
This is a very cheeky play from both him and IX Mike right now, and Bulba TPing in right now. There's the Astral Imprisonment coming. You can see the TP rotations coming through as well. Snaking it to pop the Elder Dragon form. Leech Sheet's going. You can see Fluff taking a lot of damage there. They can't fight into the March. Mech going as well. Korok wants to take down Snaking. There's a Black Hole on 2 right now. There's no way they can stop this. The Fable, the call down coming through as well. Nice Mech from Korok, and they survive this. Sandy's Eclipse will grab the kill on Snaking. They do survive it there. Freezing Field as well. Aoi 2000 taking the damage. The Leech Seed as well. Astral Imprisonment now on the ground. He's in some trouble. Aoi 2000 should go down here, theoretically, yes. And Bulba will take that kill with, of course, the laser. A nice black hole, but no follow-up damage. And Universe, I think, part of the reason why was he wasn't there. I mean, he's not doing a whole lot of damage right now, but he at least has the Nature's Wrath, which he did throw out, but wasn't able to really help out in that fight at all. Now they're going for a tier 2 in Liquid. They're in a good position here. Yeah,
you said it best. No follow-up damage, and that's the main issue, is that there isn't that much damage outside of the cooldown and the Rocket Barrage, honestly, which aren't too reliable. The cooldown, of course, hit fully, but Rocket Barrage, you need to get full durations off on people for as long as possible. Top lane, they're setting up a kill on Universe.
Yeah, Universe
He's going to get dropped instantly. He got popped.
I mean, every time that Bulba and Korok are going to connect like that together with the Astral Imprisonment, and of course Bulba coming through with just whatever he needs to, it's going to be an easy kill for them, and they certainly got it. Now more stacks going for Fluff right now as he's trying to get, of course, his carry a little bit more farm here. That carry being, well, actually, it could be the Tinker. Could be TC, who knows. Well, I mean, obviously you see the March going, so right now it's being effective. He's going to go ahead and farm that up. He's going to just keep rearming, maybe TP back home as well in just a few moments here. But getting some decent farm. He's got the Blink Dagger already. Might go for that Scythe of Eyes next, which is so good on Tinkers. Pretty much the skill and the item build has not changed for Tinkers ever since probably last year. You see he's going for that Scythe of Eyes with that Ultimate Orb, so...
Mike almost just walked by the Roche pit with those illusions, but then he doubled back and thought about checking it, and now they know that they're in Roche right now, but Roche is about to drop. It's going to drop before they get there.
Oh, but they're backing off. AUI will pick it up. The Elder Dragon for big overgrowth from Mike. The call down's going to go to Mech. Call down only on Mike. Mike's going to fall first right now, but they have to fight in. As you can see, that damage from the Bear. Bear's actually going to go down right now. Probably can get recreated, in 25 seconds. So a buyback coming in from Mike right now. Do they want to turn this around? Oh, some rockets flying out as well. Black Hole's on cooldown, by the way, so they don't want to fight into that. They, thought about it for a second and said, well, let's just hold on. We're not forcing ourselves into anything. We've gotten the Aegis. We didn't lose anybody. We picked up a kill on IX Mike, and a good fight for Dignitas, but with that Aegis, they need to be careful first and foremost. They also need to get their farm, which is they're struggling to do so right now. 4,000 experience and almost 7,500 gold going for Liquid at this point in the time.
Yeah, it's a nice, comfortable lead. But they do escape with the Aegis, like you said. And so it's something, but Gyrocopter just doesn't have farm. I mean, he's lacking. If we look at the net worth, it shows him in there at 4th, but it's only 6,200 gold. He needs to be going towards that BKB probably for this game, just because there's Frostbite in play, as well as OD,
yeah,
which puts him really far away from getting a damage item.
Yeah.
And Crystal Maiden gets a kill on Nature's Prophet somehow in the top lane. I know I missed that. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I saw it. I got it. I took care of it.
My
Don't even worry about it.
apologies.
No, it's not even a
But,
big deal. I mean, people that are watching the game can clearly see what's happening. I don't need to tell them, like, well, Nature's Prophet's dying now. I mean, you saw it.
Yeah. And middle lane, a little bit of harassment, astral imprisonment onto the gyro. But what I'm saying is that he's far away from getting an actual damaging item. And we could see they're lacking damage in the middle of these team fights, which is not something that's good when you're up against living armor. When you're up against the mech that's already in play and a tanky hero like the lone druid. So this is going to be a concern. And we said it last game when we saw the Dragon Knight, of course. Has some innate damage in the early stages of the game, but as you venture on to mid-game, he definitely falls off a little bit.
Oh, boy. I don't know if you saw that. I'm sure you did. He TP'd out and you could see his TP animation. But yeah, looking at TC right now, I want to take a quick look. He's got his radiance done, by the way. So, Gyrocopter certainly needs farm, because at this point, Liquid is getting away with murder in terms of the items they've got and the net worth, including that tanker who's at 9,000 right now. He's...
Oh, Fluff camping so hard.
Yeah, Fluff is looking for a kill. There's the Age is gone, by the way. That was a blink forward from Bulba. Fluff, of course, with the freezing field. Easily done there. He's going to get frostbitten as well. I mean, there's no way he should make it out of here alive. In fact, it looks like he probably will go down. Oh, but Fluff taking a lot of damage from that rocket barrage. So Fluff getting a little greedy there. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, they're going to pick up a kill on Korok as well. I think they might have used the black hole. Nope, they just used the stun. And yeah, interesting turn of events. And what I thought was going to be a dead Ally 2000 clearly wasn't. Turns around into a dead Fluff and a dead Korok on top of that. Now they're going to go for a tier 1. Bears Malphite. He's got that Radiance Burn. Now Bulba's going to come in, throw up the march. Universe is going to take, of course, a nice little laser to the face. Snaking getting rooted up as well. The Radiance Burn still going. Snaking in some trouble right now. The Overgrowth. I'm not sure why he stayed. I don't know what happened. It didn't look like he was getting stunned or anything. That was strange.
It was strange. I'm not sure.
He didn't get rooted again. I don't think.
No, he just stopped moving for a moment, and it was weird. Maybe his mouse fell off the pad or something.
Yeah. Oh, but way too sexy getting chased. This bear is very quick. You can see Bulba's now on top of him. Way too, taking so much damage. Nice telekinesis from Fog, but the orb attack from Korok will in fact be enough there. And they'll take 2. So trading back and forth along we go with this game, I suppose. So looking at everybody else's items right now, and while we've got a second here. Actually, you know what? Everything's pretty much the same, so.
Yeah. And
I wanted to say that stat, by the way. I wanted to say that, but I was like, I mean, yeah. Radiant side has looked pretty good so far. So.
Yeah, they have. They've been phenomenal. And honestly, I mean, it could be a thing. I don't know if it's an actual thing, but it's always been back and forth between these two teams, right?
Yeah.
Every single series we see. I always like to say, whenever I see the betting odds, that it's a 50-50. It's a toss-up for any of the NA teams versus other NA teams.
Yeah.
Because they are so familiar with each other. And this matchup, Liquid just got off to such a productive start. And then they knew they had a better mid-lane matchup between that OD and the DK. But the question was, could they divert any of the supports to middle lane to help out the DK? And the answer was no. There's no one they could have put there that would have helped them and not hurt another lane by moving there. So it was a tough situation that they found themselves in because of a good pick by Liquid, and Liquid have taken full advantage of it. OD has been a Korok hero for well over a year now since he was on Quantic. He used to somehow bring this hero in from time to time and amazingly play on him.
Yeah, and this is really the moment of truth right now. You can see them sieging consistently. Bulba's keeping on the pressure, as you can see. He just TP's back home. You know, he rearms, looks for another push, and then throws up another march, and then goes home, and then et cetera, and so they're looking for another push here. This tower's already at half health. I mean, they've only been sieging for, you know, about a minute so far. It's already at half health. So they're doing a good job of sieging. March of the Machines is still going. There's no creep wave there, obviously, so they're going to go ahead and just try to hit this tower now. The Treants are going now that you can see. Telekinesis going on Korok, as you can see. Also, the Astral Imprisonment going to fly. Nothing going on just yet. TC getting forced back forward from Bulba. Meanwhile, there's the Overgrowth going on Way2, who's trying to wrap around the Sandys Eclipse, snaking into trouble as well. Buyback coming out from Way2, but snaking, I don't think he's got it. Meanwhile, Fogged looking to maybe stop this bear. He's going to use the lead sheet. He'll take it down. And buyback status right now. Snaking does not have buyback, by the way, in case you're curious. Way2 still has the black hole, by the way. Meanwhile,
Tinker
they will
has a
take the
sheep.
tier 3. They'll deny the tower. Aoi will do a nice job denying the tower. Yeah, Bulba's got the sheep. The force
Inside a
connection from Korok.
22-minute sheep? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And that's
ridiculous for an off-lane, dual-lane Tinker.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
And
goes
there
to
it
show you how
goes.
good a game he
That's
has.
the
And there
sheep
it
right
is.
there, and boom, they're gonna get the kill on IR 2000. That's probably the
Headshot.
worst thing to happen. He'll buy back right now. They'll take down Way 260. He already bought back. Fall gonna get hexed up as well. And this is it. It looks like it's going to be the end. Yes, Dignitas is going to be going down to the third place game. Team Liquid will move on to the grand finals for the ADL, and really well played this game. And it just, you hate to see it happen on the back end of a level 1 Roche that goes poorly in your favor. So Dignitas, just a rough start to this game, and with Korok in that mid lane, like you said, up against Snake could never really get set in this game, and it was just such a rough game for Dignitas starting early on.
Yeah, it started at the beginning, but you say you hate to see it, but the teams know there's an inherent risk when you go for that level 1 Roche. It can get turned around on you, and Liquid do have level 1 heroes like the Crystal Maiden who are phenomenal. AoE slow or a hard disable on one target, whatever you chose. I think Crystal Nova is usually the first first skill choice, but definitely an amazing ability for that kind of small engagement. And then having the bear damage on top of that is nice too. But Liquid, they looked the much better side in this game, and it was such a nice back and forth series between the two. Dignitas had amazing bright spots in game 2 and game 4, but in the end, Liquid persevere. And we go back to the point of regular season, and seeding is so important, because if you got that 1 seed like EG did, you don't have to play this monster matchup this early on in the playoffs. You maybe coast, well, I don't want to say coast, but maybe get an easier path to the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of EG, they're going to be taking up Denial Esports, of course, formerly Arctic Gaming, tomorrow at 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I believe, is the time for that. So check that out. We'll be back here, of course, for that. That is a Saturday afternoon game. It'll be real fun to watch that one. But from everybody here at the ADL, we really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Check out AmericanDotaLeague.com, Twitter.com/AmericanDota, and Twitch.tv/AmericanDotaLeague. If you'd like to purchase up a ticket, it's only $5. We still have 3 best of 3s left, or best of 5s, excuse me, left to go for the ADL. So definitely some good matches to watch. I'd like to thank everybody watching in game right now. It's a pleasure having you guys. Of course, my name is Mont. You can follow me at Twitter.com/MontDota2. With me tonight is NYJohn. You can follow him at Twitter.com/NYJohnTV. Leave us any feedback in chat that you would like. John, do you have any shout-outs or anything to say before we get out of here?
Shout out to the couple people that followed me on Twitter. It's so helpful when you follow us, me, Mont, and American Dota, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you guys that have taken time out to do that. It really is appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been fun, guys, but we're going to head out of here, and I hope you guys have a great evening. We'll see y'all later.